All right, so today we're going to go over how to properly set up a camcorder and microphone and tripod for an interview. I already have my tripod and camcorder set up. I'm going to invite my guest up here, Gabby, please. I'm going to interview Gabby, and so the first thing I need to consider is lighting. Now, you know the lighting in Carroll High School is not the best. We have a lot of these fluorescent lights that are randomly spaced around. So what I want to think about is, where can I get Gabby that I can get the best lighting on her? Typically, we don't want our subject to stand right underneath one of these fluorescent lights because it can create some shadows, especially if I'm right underneath it. I want her to be about a step behind it so that the light is coming down kind of like a key light would in our three-point lighting setup. If I have Gabby stand here, then I'm going to get a key light and almost like a fill light coming in. So having her between two lights a couple feet back is really the best case scenario in a classroom. If you are going to do an interview in a classroom that has windows, remember, never point the camera into the window for an interview. You're going to have a backlit subject. Instead, put your back to the window, have your subject face the window, and then the light from the sun coming through the window will help light up your subject too. So those are the two best ways to light up a subject here in Carroll High School. So I'm going to have Gabby right there. I'm going to set up my camera. I have to make sure it's eye level, and we're pretty good. I'm also going to be using a handheld mic, so I need to make sure that she's relatively close to the camera because you're limited by the length of your arm. So I'm going to zoom out all the way on my camcorder and then ask Gabby to take a step forward. Okay, one more half step. Okay, good. Now I need to frame my shot up. I have her a good distance, and I can hold the mic here. Now I need to get rule of thirds. So I'm going to pan to my left, and I'm going to tilt down to get her head right at the top of the screen. I have her on this side of the rule of thirds because she's going to be looking this way to talk to me, and that's going to have her looking in the open area right around where Jackson is. So just look at me, okay? So my shot looks pretty good. My lighting, I think, is good. My framing is correct. There's one more thing, or two more things I have to consider. Any distractions in the background. So yes, apparently there is some distractions in the background. So what I would do is, at this point, I would either rotate my camera this way to try to get rid of distractions. That didn't help. I might just say, excuse me, sir, do you mind just kind of moving this way? Thank you. So after my background is cleared up, and of course in this situation it'll be impossible for there to be zero backgrounds, especially with Heidi in the room. I'm using a handheld mic, so I'm going to attach the mic to the mic cord, attach the mic cord into the camcorder. Camcorder. And then I'm going to do a mic check. So when I do a mic check, you can see up on the screen, you see the VU meter bouncing, which means we have audio, but there's no way for me to know if the audio is quality without headphones. Here's the problem for me though. I should be using headphones, but in order for you guys to see it up on the projector, I have to use the headphones jack. So we'll pretend like I'm wearing headphones, but for this demonstration, I really can't. Okay, I have my shot framed up. I have rule of thirds. I have the correct headroom. I have nose room correct because I have Gabby looking into the open side of the screen over here. I have my mic set up. Mic check is good. I would have my questions in front of me. And then this is the challenging part I tell you about. I need to be able to hold my hand out here, get the microphone below her chin. You never want it to be like this. You can see how in the shot, you see my arm. You see the whole microphone, and at some level, it's going to really be a distraction in her face. You want to put your arm down, but kind of put the microphone in a 30 or a 90-degree angle pointing up. I can see the view screen. I'd have my questions. I have my microphone ready. I would hit record. And I would say, go ahead and please say and spell your name for me.
Gabby Adamson, G-A-B-B-I-E-A-D-A-M-S-O-N.
If you look at the screen, you can see the microphone. That's fine. If you can see the top of the microphone, that's not a problem. What you don't want to do is see the microphone and realize that you're doing this throughout the whole interview. because then it becomes a distraction. You got to hold your arms still as well as you can. But standing right, like my body is physically right beside the camcorder, allows me to see the shot while I do the interview, and it makes Gabby look right off to the side of the camera. We don't want to be way over here, because now turn your body towards me. Now if you look at the shot, you see that we don't see all of Gabby's face. We see a half of her face. We want to be standing right beside the camcorder and have her looking at me like this. All right? Next step, I'm going to show you how to properly set up the lapel mic. So let me disconnect. And this is where it can become awkward. It can become awkward because you're going to need to ask the subject to run the microphone under their shirt. It is very unprofessional to see a mic cord in an interview. So if you are a guy and you have to ask a girl to do that, yes, that can be very uncomfortable, but it's okay, we'll have to get over it. So my mic is ready, and I would say, can you please run this up under your shirt and then clip it onto your lapel, yeah, or your collar. I find that it can be very respectful when you have to do this, especially if it's a guy to a girl. I always like to just kind of turn my back, because it can be just awkward to be in front of somebody, especially a girl, and have to do that. So I just turn my back. I think it's professional, and I think it gives them a courtesy. All right, so this is a lot easier. All right, this is a ton easier. If you've picked a lapel mic, bingo bango, because your life is going to be a lot easier. The reason is I still frame up my shot. I still want to get my headroom. I still want to frame it up correctly, rule of thirds, check the background, check the lighting. But now I don't have to stick my arm out here for 5 minutes and hold it. Now I can stand back here. I can focus a lot better on my questions. I can focus a lot better on my shot. I do want, I want you to come over here and turn around for me. If you face the class, please. I want to talk about microphone placement. So I've mentioned the rule of thumb. So Gabby, go ahead and do this thing. Put your finger. So the microphone's placed in the correct place. But there's two things with a lapel mic you have to be careful of. The first one is Gabby actually put it on correctly. You can see the microphone's on the outside of her shirt. A lot of people who have never put a microphone on before will accidentally put it so the microphone is on the inside of their shirt because they don't know any better. You want to avoid that. Secondly, it can be possible, so like Gabby has got a good collar, looking around the room. If you can give me a shot over here of Emma. Emma's got a lighter, looser shirt, and so the microphone, when you clip it on, could start to drag the collar of your shirt down. That would be something you'd be aware of. Also, Gabby, for girls, every girl in here has long hair. If Gabby wasn't aware of it, can you just bring your hair around to the front? Hair that rubs on a microphone creates this scratchy sound that is just horrible to hear. So we always have to be conscious if you're interviewing anybody, a boy or a girl with long hair, that you might want to say, can you flip your hair behind your back on this side because I don't want it to rub on the mic. Okay? So turn back around. Camera shut off. So I need to again check my lighting, check my shot frame, rule of thirds, check my nose room. I want Gabby looking into the open side of the screen. Do me a favor and look this way. Like turn your whole body that way. This would be an example of bad nose room. If I was standing over here interviewing Gabby, Gabby's looking at the small side of the screen, that's incorrect nose room. You're still following the rule of thirds, but you have the person looking the wrong direction. Instead, turn this way again, please. Now I have Gabby looking to the open side of the screen, which is this area right here. Any questions? Okay, well that's how we set up an interview. And then I would have my questions. I would do a mic check with my earphones on, and then hit record, and then ask my first question, how do you say and spell your name?